For all of you who listen to Mac East Second Floor Studios present Submersion and own an Android device, do me a favor. Go to the Google Play Store and download the Podcast Republic app. It's a fantastic app that allows you to get all of your favorite podcasts directly on your Android device. I personally use the app, and I love it. I can search for the podcast I want to listen to, select them as favorites, and have them all just a click away. Make sure to set Mac East Second Floor Studios as a favorite so you don't miss any of our new episodes. Again, the app is the Podcast Republic app, available on Android devices. Episode 53!
Woo!
And wow,
Yeah.
What a movie for this one.
What a great one. I mean, I gotta say, the Trapped cycle is going off the rails. I don't know what to say. Like, this one is, I was watching on Tubi TV, a legitimate website, not a sponsor, that is, no one really even knew what it was, but apparently it had this movie. And then the next movie, we ended up having to find on YouTube.
Yes.
There's literally nowhere else.
Nowhere.
Then the one after that is even crazier because it's not on YouTube. It's not available from the library. It's not available anywhere. The only place it was available, literally only one copy available, was a $20 buy instantly on eBay. So
guess who got it?
This guy is going to get it. But it's funny because then it does beg the question of who we're making these episodes for, because who the hell is going to watch the movie? I guess we are helping them not watch the movies. Is that the idea?
Sure. Yeah, we'll go
why
with
not?
that.
And anyways, they're trapped with us. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that we're off the rails here. I'd say we're in full effect with the trapped, idea.
Yeah, we are trapped.
I felt trapped by you guys for having to watch this and record an episode about it.
I felt very trapped watching this film.
Yeah.
Because it was so captivating and I couldn't possibly look away.
Right. Trapped by their icy dialogue and
for their
heated tempers. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Before we even get into that, just to let everyone know, we now are on podcastmin.com, which is all Minnesota podcast. Place to go check out anything.
That's not where I thought you were going with that.
Oh, where'd you think I was going with that?
Podcast men, like.
Podcast men.
We're men.
Oh, men.
Men.
Well, this is Podcast Min, MINN. So we are on there. So go check it out.
Great.
Look for a bunch of other Minnesota shows.
Even though we're 3/5 Ohioan?
Yes.
We take a weighted average.
Right.
Okay.
And do not forget to send us any of your listener questions. We love to get those.
When was the last time we got one?
It's been a really long time.
So definitely send it to
Mac East Second Floor Studios at gmail.com.
And remember, it's not second like spelled out. It's second like 2ND.
Yeah.
Right.
See, when I said that before, you said it made no sense.
Yeah, that's because you said
I was rambling.
Yeah, you said it so quickly.
Yeah.
Now I like really spelled it out.
You did.
But don't spell out second. It's 2ND.
There you go.
Yeah.
It is.
I think I just made it confusing.
Well, you have to every once in a while. So recently we have all lived through the snowpocalypse.
Well, not Brom, but me and you. Yep.
Yes.
We had over a foot of snow probably, right?
In my driveway, I measured 13 inches.
Yeah. And it was rough sledding, called a state of emergency. And yeah, basically trapped like this cycle. Trapped in our homes.
We were trapped.
In our icy caverns of sadness.
But I will say the funniest thing, if you ever lived through a blizzard, I don't know if many people, everybody in North America experienced snow and all that. But when it really comes down, that's the most active I've ever seen, like the community around my home. Everybody is out of their homes, just like trying to clear these 6-foot piles of snow out from in front of their driveways. It's incredible.
It's making me sad even you talking about it. I just want it to stop.
It's not gonna. We got even more coming.
Dive!
What began as an innocent conversation among friends would soon spiral out of control and later be referred to by future generations as the eighth wonder of the modern world. Mac East Second Floor Studios takes you on the journey of your lifetime as your captains, Alex the Mustard Man, the artist formerly known as Brom, Jamie the Brain, Kyle El Capitan, and Zach the Backbone present Submersion.
All right. Oh, that's not, yeah.
You gross little man.
Don't get it twisted, though. That's not Zach. That is still Brom with a soundboard.
That wasn't real?
That was not real.
Zach's all real, man.
Really? Wow.
Is that a Zach fact?
Yes.
That is a Zach fact, yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's because it's a fact.
Yeah.
So.
All right, Brom. What did we watch this week?
Yeah, what did we watch?
We watched the 1996 Chris O'Donnell, Gene Hackman masterpiece, The Chamber.
I wouldn't call that a masterpiece either, but I've seen that one for badmovietwins.com. That's badmovietwins.com.
Yeah, and that is probably would have been better than this, right?
It actually is. It's considerably better than this one.
So what's
okay.
going on with the
not
IMDb
to rag
page?
too much on this movie, because I think there are some positives to it, but it's just not the type of movie that I'm going to go out of my way to find and watch. No, spoiler alerts for my eventual review.
The IMDb page is like in complete flux because it's got that poster with Chris O'Donnell and Gene Hackman on there, but then it's got the trailer to the movie that we watched.
Yes, that actually happens more frequently than you would think. And the same thing with Amazon. We were discovering that Amazon, you'll often go to movies that are named the same thing, and all the stuff is all mixed up.
Right, because you told me about one. You said, Kyle, it's on there. Go check it out. And I started watching it. I said, this is not the movie I'm looking for.
Right, yeah. It was the link for the video was wrong. The link for buying the DVDs was wrong. All the reviews were for the other movie.
Right.
The only thing that was the movie that we were looking for was the description on the page, that single page.
And the photo.
In the photo, yeah.
Yep, that's it.
But that was it. It was weird.
All
And it's like IMDb has the same problems.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we'll talk about that one when we come to it. But
Yes. No, what is this
Good call,
really, though?
Brom.
What is this? Brom, what is it really?
It's really The Chamber, just not 1996.
Right. It's a 2016 film, I guess, but then released in the United States this last year. So we even contemplated it for the 2018 cycle, but
That is
it's
really
fine.
bad for
2016,
2017.
Wow. I think they make these kind of things. I think it's made by a company that kind of creates content for things like Tubi TV, like just to sell it off to different entities to be able to show. And then because they're doing that, they try to make these things that are easy to film. So here, all they needed to have was like a submersible in a warehouse, and then they could film it.
they got it done.
Yeah.
So the film The Chamber was directed by Ben Parker,
Yeah.
also written by Ben Parker.
It's his debut.
It stars Johannes Kuhnke. That's how you say that?
Yeah. So he's somewhat famous because he made a movie called Force Majeure. If you know Force Majeure.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, so it's like where he is with his family and there's like an avalanche and he like runs away and leaves his family to die, and then it's like I think they survive, and then it's like super embarrassing.
Yeah, they're like,
I think that's what it's about. I don't know, but it got very good reviews and he's well regarded as an actor.
Really?
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
Yep.
He is Matt.
Yep, Matt's.
Hold on.
Oh.
Don't give it away.
What? Okay.
Charlotte Salt
Mhm.
plays Edwards, Agent Edwards, I guess.
Which is weird because she's really called Red, or then eventually we are find out
Alice.
that her name is Alice.
Yes.
I'm not sure why they call it Edwards, but
Yeah. James McArdle as Parks.
Yep.
And Elliot Levy as Denholm.
AKA the dead guy. Spoiler alert.
Oh, dude, nobody dies in a trap film.
That's true. Yeah,
All right.
these are really, a lot of them are bummers. I mean, in the end, I think our
All
last
the movies in general?
the trapped ones.
Yeah.
A lot of people die in the end, either in the initial accident or in the end, everyone dies. Like, there's no two ways about it. So people are dying.
They are, man.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
trapped.
anyways,
What are you going to do?
I don't know. I don't know what you're gonna do.
1, 2, 3. How long do you think this is going to take?
To recap?
Yeah.
Well, let's just try it. Press it. It started? Okay, so they get trapped in a submersible and eventually they all die at the end.
Boom.
Yeah, so there we go. I think that's it. We got it. Okay. But seriously.
Oh, yeah.
We
We'll
open-
let you know what you guys are missing out on by not watching this cinematic masterpiece.
So we open on a research vessel, and there's a bunch of collaborations, I guess, between multiple nations to have the scientific vessel out there. It seems like it's like a crew of South Koreans, maybe.
Mhm.
And then the ship is South Korean, but then the captain seems to be British, maybe. And Matt's is our main character is Swedish, and they have this like submersible called the Aurora, which is basically, they explain later, has gone through a bunch of iterations and serving different countries, but now is kind of owned by the world? ? Like,
I'm not really sure. It was privately held.
Yeah, it's like privately held, and this company sells it off to different people, and Matt's just like pilots it for whatever they sell it off for. So right now it's being sold as like this research thing in near South Korea, and so he's piloting it out there. So it's they're always on loan.
He is just like so good with his customer service, working with all the people that he's going to take down in the sub.
Yeah, so he wakes up and he's none too thrilled to find that there are some jokesters coming on board this research vessel.
Oh, there are?
There's a woman there. Whoa.
Uh-oh.
And a couple guys, and they look like some military folk. He's getting a little suspicious that they're probably some kind of like military folk or something, because they're Americans. They're not really Americans. None of the actors are Americans, but they're Americans, and they do not want to tell him what's up.
And it should also be noted, while all the credits were going on, there were all sorts of news clippings of increasing tensions with North Korea.
Yeah.
And we find out that our research ship is getting close to the 38th parallel.
Yeah, so they're very close to North Korean waters. I guess they call it international waters, near North Korea. But so Matt's is like, he's seeing all the shit that these Americans are bringing on board. He's seeing these Americans, they're acting all shady, and so he goes to talk to the captain, and he's like, "What's going on? I don't want to pilot this crew down there. I don't want to do this."
And because also, the Aurora is only built for 2 people.
Right. He's like, I'm not going to take all these people.
Yeah. They say, well, you got to take 3 of them down.
Yeah. And so the captain is basically like, fuck off, Matt's. Because guess what? Guess who's the captain around here?
Say it isn't so.
He says it's this guy. And then, do you know what he did?
Did he do the classic?
Well, he pointed to his pants to give a little indication. Then he pointed at Matt's pants, right?
Mm-hmm. And then he did like a little, his hands shrunk down?
Yeah, it's the international symbol for tiny dick.
Oh,
and then he said like, and then he just shrugged his shoulders like,
tiny sub?
Yeah. He's like, guess what? And so Matt's is like, damn it. Okay. I guess this is happening. It does seem like they kind of explain exactly what we said, which is like,
they explain that?
Yeah, the captain he's the captain of the ship, but his authority really is just to make sure everyone is like safe. But otherwise, their boss is not anyone in particular. It's whoever kind of like pays them. So they're being paid, right? The company that owns the submersible is being paid right now by the U.S. government. So
because he also explains it. He says, "You're just the pilot. You're not the owner."
Right. Yeah. So they're being like loaned out or whatever. So Matt's is unhappy, but he's like, okay. So he gets in there, and he's always wearing these like socks or whatever. And then in comes the Americans.
His pants tucked into his socks also.
And so he gets in. They get into the submersible, and one of the Americans has these boots on, and he's like, take those boots off.
Yeah.
No need for boots. We will never at any point during this movie need those boots. That's what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so guess what? We're going to need those boots.
Yeah, just check out his boots over here.
But before this, Red, as I'll refer to her, she gets into the sub, and she's trying to make some small talk.
Yeah, trying to like
Matt.
Get a little chummy with him.
Yeah, but he's just like, hey, you know what? Screw off.
Yeah.
I ain't got time for you right now.
Right. And so he's just being really gruff. He really wants to know what's up. Like
he's really standoffish.
Matt's just really wants to know what the mission is, because if he knows the mission, I feel like he feels like he would understand and maybe be able to help and not be so upset. Like he wants to be in control, and they're not letting him be in control. He's got his little submersible.
Maybe there's all sorts of underlying issues here.
I think it is, and
the struggle for control always ends up in the shitter.
Yeah. So he kind of tells them all that like the submersible is a piece of shit. He's basically like it's an old garbage like a recovery vessel, basically
built in the Cold War.
Yeah, built in the Cold War to try to rescue people from submarines, and what is it, DSRV or whatever.
Yep.
And then it's been like going between all these different countries for years and years and years.
Yep.
And now it's ended up here. So like if they touch something, it will break. If his stupid Chekhov's boot bumps into something, it will break.
No.
If they don't just sit there and be quiet and tell him what to do, it will break. So just like get comfortable, and we're going to go down, and like I'm going to do what I want, because otherwise we're all going to die. And they're like, all right, we're all going to die, right?
He is a little over dramatic with this stuff.
Well, yeah. And
later, I mean, dude, people are getting thrown into stuff and it's not an issue.
No. Yeah. They're going all over the place. Anyways.
We'll talk about that later, though.
Yeah. So they start to dive. Everything goes pretty smoothly at this point. One of the guys, Denholm, is actually a pretty quick learner. Like, he's able to kind of like help out with piloting the submersible here and there. And so, like, you know, things are going okay in that regard. He keeps on relaying their position back, and they get real upset about that. Yeah, Matt's
he's relaying it, and they say, "Hey,
and they don't like
you're
that.
not on a secure line."
No. We have our own secure line. So tell us where we are, and we'll send it up to our buoy that we have up there, and that'll go back to our handlers or whatever.
Mm-hmm. But this whole time, also, the other guy who's on board, Parks, is being a real a-hole.
Yeah, he started off kind of seeming like he was going to be a funny jokester, but then he descends into madness, basically. They explain, like, he starts to have some panic issues, some
pressure-induced psychosis.
Exactly.
Perhaps?
He becomes a psycho, basically. Yeah. Pressure-induced psychosis. And yeah, he's acting like a real hard-ass kind of dick. He doesn't like Matt's and his like guff. He's like, just do your job. Like, and Matt's is like, well, if I'm like going around, what are we looking for? And like, we can't tell you. He's like, well, what am I supposed to do? Just like pilot around this grid? And they're like, exactly. We'll tell you when we see something, or you'll know. Like, you'll know when you see what we're looking for. Mm-hmm. We're not going to tell you shit.
Right.
So anyways, they're telling him just relay the information back. Just at that moment, kind of coincidentally, they get a call from the people on the research ship basically saying they've been boarded, right? This is when this happens.
Yeah, they've been boarded.
By
Which
North
is
Korea.
Never good.
No. By North Korea, and they're basically like, Aurora, come on up. You got to surface. You got to surface Aurora. And the Americans shut off his communication system. They're like, no way. We're not going to answer that. We're not surfacing. We're going to keep on doing this mission.
But Matt's really wants to go up.
Right.
He's really, wanting to play by the rules.
Yeah.
But no way, man. They're not going to let him.
So he tries to quickly, what does he do? He's like,
they start getting into like a shouting match, and then
Parks
starts really getting into his face, and then just knocks him out.
So he's totally knocked out. Denholm takes over, or whatever his name is, takes over piloting, and they kind of pilot around for a while. And this is the first of 2 times, just like it's too funny, where they kind of tie him up. They tie Matt's up.
Yeah.
And then Matt's wakes up, and he's like, oh, you woke up, like whatever. And he's like, untie me. I won't do anything crazy. Yeah, and they're like,
I'll be fine.
They're like, I think I can read people. He's going to be fine. And they cut him loose, and he immediately shuts off everything. And just like shuts it all off.
You guys say you don't need me? Well, I'm going to shut everything down on this system.
And they're like,
don't know how to do it.
They're like, we don't know what he did. So they basically relent and tell him kind of what's going on. Okay, what are they searching for?
So there is a downed UAV, aka a drone, that is just underwater.
Yes.
Crashed off the coast of North Korea, and they need to go down there and 1, get the data that's on it, 2, scrub the data that is remaining on there, and 3, blow it up.
Although that third one is technically optional.
Yeah, that is.
Because I think the U.S. government was pretty aware that they might be in a piece of shit garbage submersible.
Right.
That they should maybe not blow it up. But anyways, optional.
And they couldn't send out like a normal Navy vessel to come do this training exercise or get the information because it would draw way too much attention.
Yeah. Instead, they send this thing down and they still draw a whole shitload of attention.
Yeah. When your surface ship's getting boarded by North
immediately,
Koreans.
like right away, and they're clearly their buoy's been picked up and all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah. You're it's not doing too great.
So, anyways, they very easily get the data and wipe it. Like those 2 things are done. Really, no problem.
Super easy.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. But then Red is like, yo, we're going to blow this up.
And everybody's like, are you sure? There's no way. Because before, they did have a way to remote detonate these explosives that were going to put on the UAV.
Right.
But now, since their comm system went out, since the North Koreans took the buoy or whatever was going on up top, they have no way to do that. They have to be within range of their transmitter, which is not that far away.
It was like 1,700 meters or something like that.
No, it was closer. I think more to the tune of 17.
Oh, 17. That's right. Yeah, 17 meters. It was stupid. It was like I looked at it and was like, "There's no way you would do this." It's like It's just like you'd clearly die in the blast. But whatever.
Yeah, you might as well have got closer.
Yeah. So, anyways, Parks, he agrees with me and everyone who would watch that and is like, we can't effing do this. It's
All right.
optional.
This part also made no sense. So Matts and Parks were talking, and they were agreeing with one another. Matts is like, no, there's no way you can do this. And Parks is like, you just shut up. He's like, I totally agree with you. And then he punches him in the face. You're like, what's going on?
Yeah, he's like, Parks, think of your child. I'm like, I am thinking of my child. God, and he punches him.
Yeah. Like, what? What's happening?
Yeah. So anyways, Denholm is like, he's like fine with all of this happening. Red is like, fire it. And they blow up this drone.
And surprise.
And blow up themselves.
Yeah.
So they are now upside down, which is something we are fully comfortable with after Gray Lady down. So they are, I guess you wouldn't call this a Gray Lady. It's more of like an off-white lady down? Kind of like it's like a little research vessel. I don't know. But it's upside down, and they Denholm, is that his name, or am I saying it wrong?
Yeah, no, you're right.
Okay. Denholm is fucked because he had I think he must have had like one of those nuts or bolts pop off the submarine as it like was crashing and go straight through him.
Gotcha. I thought you meant like he brought like a bag of nuts.
Yeah, some cashews. He's like, these nuts are delicious. Oh shit! And they went upside down, and then he had a nut go straight through him, spear him.
Like, oh my god.
And so he's dead.
Not yet. He's slowly dying.
Yeah, everyone knows.
Yeah,
including him.
Well, he's like, I can feel the blood building up in my lungs.
Yeah, it's not going to be great. No.
Great. But then he didn't seem to be in too much pain. He was just kind of chilling there. Yeah,
so now they try a whole bunch of stuff. Like, Matt's really knows the submarine, so he's like, he tries the ballast, he tries to reroute the battery power to do the pumps, but it turns out, like, the air, whatever chamber is busted. So, like, he actually fucks up because he drains the battery.
Oh, yeah.
So they can't use the radio anymore. They don't know if the ship is even up above. So
March really wanted to use the radio immediately.
Yeah, they go through all the things that we kind of talked about for the previous one, Morning Departure, where they're like, can't we just free dive up? And Matt's actually says in this case, technically yes, even though this is like 3 times further down or something, 300 feet or something.
This is a lot further down.
And he's like, technically, yeah, you can. Like, you could make it maybe. But you'd have the bends, and unless you had like a hyperbaric chamber right there, you would die. So you have to pop up right next to the ship. The ship would have to have a hyperbaric chamber to help you out, and otherwise you're dead. So he's like, no. But he did say it was plausible.
Right.
And then they say, okay, well, the stats for this ship say there's escape suits in here. And he said only 2.
And then I love this because Parks has been freaking out a lot. And he's just like, why in the fuck are there only 2 suits?
Yeah. And he's like,
loses it.
And Matt's is like, because only 2 people are on here usually, you assholes.
Yeah.
How about you what I didn't understand is why didn't they bring escape suits? They were like military people. They're on a mission where they're maybe in a submarine that might have to blow something else up. You don't think they'd have just packed away some escape suits?
Dude,
they were even talking about how much shit they had.
When you go do like a rental, anything, do you bring your own stuff?
If I was going somewhere where I might need an escape suit, I would probably bring it, and especially if I was a U.S. military member.
If you, Brom,
yes,
I know you use these, so I'll ask you. When you rent a car, you expect there to be driving gloves in the glove box. Do you bring your own driving gloves, or do you use the ones provided?
I bring my own because, much like O.J. Simpson,
Same, yeah.
Gloves usually don't fit me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like the same thing with driving goggles. Like, you just can't trust anymore that there's going to be driving goggles in the car, which is ridiculous.
That's true.
I usually bring like a leather aviator's cap as well.
Right. Yeah. And you can it's just not, whatever. Anyways, they only have 2. They didn't bring any, like idiots.
Dumbos.
And they basically like, we're going to draw straws. And Parks is like, we're fucking not going to draw straws. Guess who's getting a straw? This guy. Like, get out of here. And he's going crazy. Yeah. And Brad is like, we're going to draw straws. And then Denholm's like, I don't need a straw, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm filled up with blood. I'm literally like,
I'm about to die.
I'm kind of like a lung half full kind of guy, if you think about it. Not a lung half empty kind of guy, because it's filling up. And my lungs are going to be filled with blood soon. And so basically they get in a big, some fisticuffs, which is natural.
They do. And this is also when they identify that Parks is suffering from pressure-induced psychosis.
Right. And so they get into some fisticuffs or a big altercation.
There's a great insult here.
What's that one? No,
Parks and Matts are fighting or something. And Parks is just like, looks at him. He's like, "Fuck you, fish boy."
Right.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Who's coming up with this stuff?
Like a British guy pretending to be an American, I think.
Yeah.
But
what do all those Americans always call each other?
Fish boy.
Oh yeah, you stupid fish boy.
And so Red actually knocks his shoulder out of the socket to kind of calm him down.
Yeah.
And in
Because that always calms everyone down.
Right. In the process of doing this, Denholm dies. But
yes.
Well, okay. Well,
not as a direct result.
No, he just kind of died while it was happening.
Yeah.
And so now, just like Matt's before being tied up, he's sitting there with his arm out of the socket. And he's like, "Yo, don't worry about it. Just pop my arm back in the socket. And I swear to God, I'm not going to do anything shady."
All right, we trust you.
And Red is like, "Yo, I'm the leader. I'm really good at reading people. Just like the last time when I read Matt's was not going to do anything. I'm going to do it." And pops his arm back in and he immediately gets in a knife fight. He's like knife fighting people.
Yeah.
And then he cuts Red and Matt's and Red are like fighting him. And eventually she has to drown him.
Oh yeah, man.
And she's a little upset.
Why?
There was a advertisement now, I remember, because it was in the middle of this scene, the John Cena commercial popped up. I'm like, what the hell?
Oh, good. Appropriate.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that. That's funny.
Yeah. So anyways, after the fight and after having killed Parks, Red is a little distraught because he killed his friend. Killed her friend.
Don't worry, man. Mats is going to calm her down.
Yeah, but how? In the most misogynistic way possible, which is by kissing her. Because that's every girl just needs a little kiss, a little smooch to calm down after killing her friend.
There was at this point, no real relationship between these two.
It made no sense
at all.
No, it's a very classic thing that happens in books and film, which I don't think is necessarily totally like off base, but they really love this idea of being like in tense situations, people will inevitably fuck. And it's like, I watch Survivor, the television series, and it's the most tense situation you can be in, and people will never fuck on that. So I'm just telling you, I have 38 seasons of evidence to tell me that it's probably happened maybe once.
That we
you
know
said
of.
they never do.
Well, I'm just saying that
maybe every movie is just the one time.
I'm just saying that Boston Rob got married to one of his co-stars on the Survivor series, so they may have. I don't know.
Scandalous.
Well, I don't know if it's scandalous. They did get married and have like multiple kids, and they're happily married.
They're not. Oh, okay. So it's still going on, huh?
Oh yeah. So, anyways, they are pretty much set at this point. Denham's gone. Parks is gone. Only 2 people left. They didn't have to draw straws after all. Time to jet.
Yeah.
And by that I mean jettison in their escape suits.
Well, now they are kind of getting to know one another.
Sure. Okay. So you want to delve more into the relationship?
Yeah.
Okay,
now it's really great, and this is when we find out that Edward's name is actually Red, and it's actually Alice,
and she does not quit.
She does not quit.
She doesn't quit.
She will not quit.
Spoiler alert.
And this is also at the time, because all up through the entire movie, they've been calling this guy Matt. His real name is Mats.
I've been calling him Mats the whole time.
Well, if you look online, it just says Mats.
Right. Mats.
Yeah, but they call him Mats.
Right.
That's his
Mats
Swedish
applesauce,
name, I guess.
Right.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Heir to the applesauce fortune.
Yeah.
And, I knew he was Swedish because he said, Helvete.
Right.
Which means like fucking hell or something like that.
Hey, there we go. What? Is that Swedish?
Yep.
That's what he said. Yeah.
No way.
And so
we have to call our Swedish expert in on this.
The Swedish chef?
No.
Oh.
A little man lives down in Indiana.
Oh, no, I see what you're saying now. I actually thought you were talking about Dolph Lundgren. But no, you mean our actual friend Frederick from Sweden. Okay. Yes. All right. So they start to get stuff together for being able to use their escape suits. It turns out is there a dog around here or something?
There is a dog, and if you hear some clicking noise, a Maltese Shih Tzu is on the loose.
Anyways. All right.
Don't worry about it.
You might have to edit this out. So they realized one of the escape suits was actually damaged in the knife fight.
No way.
Yeah, so they have to start like taping it up. They're like, "Hey, we're totally in love with each other. Look at we've like really bonded over our personal experiences. Let's also bond this escape suit with some tape." So they start bonding it together, and all of a sudden, like a fucking zombie, Parks is up and out of the water.
Well, because
it's like fucking impossible.
So like he's
dead.
floating around because the water does keep rising in the chamber.
Yeah,
and
good one.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, he just makes all these gurgling noises.
And they're like, "Oh, corpses do that shit."
Yeah, they do that sometimes. And then he comes back to life and is ready to kill.
Like a fucking zombie. He's a zombie, right? He's been dead. He's been dead for like an hour. So, yeah. Anyways, in the process of kind of fighting him again, Red's suit loses air. So,
because he smashed the air valve or something.
And then they're able to kill him again. They kind of stab him with the knife and kill him. And so they're like, okay, we're fucked, but we don't quit. We're just not quitters. So they both don these escape suits, the fixed one with air, the non-fixed one, but that doesn't have air. They tie a tube between the two. Okay, we're both going to have air from this one thing, which wasn't going to work.
And what do they tie the tube with? How do they secure it to their suits?
Chekhov's boots. He's like, oh, guess what? I just realized some boots might be useful around here because I'm going to grab that shoelace and tie it right up. Oh, yeah. Don't worry about it. And then it's not going to work because it was ridiculous looking. Like, there's no way that was going to actually work. But anyways, they're like, it'll totally work. And then it gets high and Mats is like, okay, I'm going to open up the chamber.
Right. And the water at this point is not at the top.
I don't know. Yeah.
It's still like shoulder up.
Yeah.
They've still got a decent amount of room.
Yeah. I don't know how it was going to work. But anyways, we see what happens because he goes down. He's like, oh, it's kind of tough. You might want to help me. And Red's like, that looks like you're going to get your skull crushed by some valve that like fucking opens up.
Yeah. And the pressure of the entire ocean slamming into you.
And he gets 100% domed by that hatch.
Oh, dude, it splits his head.
And she's like, holy
open.
Shit. And there's blood everywhere. And she's like, but remember, everyone, I'm not a quitter. So she takes his suit off, takes her own suit off, jumps into his suit filled with blood and shit. Mm-hmm. Not blood and shit, just blood plus other stuff.
Well, they say sometimes, when you die, you shit.
That's true. Sorry. I shouldn't definitively say there wasn't shit in that suit.
Could have been.
Right. And so then she opens up I guess the hatch is open.
Oh,
we're right there.
We are perfect.
And she makes her way out and she rises to the surface of the ocean and looks around. And what does she see, Kyle?
Absolutely nothing.
But what does she do next?
She doesn't quit.
She's not a quitter. And the last thing we see is her take one stroke to try to swim to North Korea? ? I don't know. I'm not sure what she's going to do. She's probably just going to die because it's a sad movie.
Would you just want to die in the ocean or do you want to swim to North Korea?
I guess swim to North Korea.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it would be tough though because you'd probably get tortured to death. Not to slander North Korea or anything. But
to our North Korean listeners out there.
All right. So I know it all beeped and stuff, but I do have some questions for you guys. Okay.
All right, man.
About this movie. I want to
us.
Does she survive?
Yes.
Really? You think she survives?
I think so.
All right. Well, what makes you say that, though?
I think Kim Jong-un's private party yacht picks her up, gets her out of the ocean, and...
Good call. We just couldn't see it because it's invisible. I see what you're saying.
Yes.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Mm-hmm.
Does Mats survive?
No.
Don't count him out.
I'm just saying he's not a quitter either.
Yeah, because
I think we learned he wasn't a quitter.
Parks came back.
What about Parks? Does he survive?
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah, I think he does.
He's a zombie, so he wants brains.
He's
and
like a cockroach.
Brains are exposed at this point, right?
Yeah.
And he will munch on some brains and head up to the surface. No big deal.
All right, I'm liking this.
Does the guy who died survive?
I'm gonna go with a hard no.
No? Okay. Does the captain boarded by North Korea survive?
For 15 years inside a prison camp inside North Korea.
Oh. That is sad.
And eventually he is turned into the head of a turnip farm.
Wow. So, I mean, it's pretty good.
He starts a family, and
Wow.
then eventually he is executed for
Oh,
a bad turnip year.
I see. Okay. Does Kim Jong-un take his personal submersible down to collect evidence of the mission?
100%.
I mean, I added that in just to be an easy one.
Yeah.
Because, the answer is yes. Does the international incident that he discovers evidence for, does it result in a nuclear holocaust?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Does the Holocaust, because I also assumed yes, does the Holocaust result in mechamats, a giant half man, half submersible created by radioactive fallout?
Okay.
Yeah.
So he becomes one with the Aurora, kind of.
Well, he already was one with the Aurora, but
That's
now
true.
physically one with
He
the Aurora.
he gets bit by a radioactive Aurora.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm good with
I
that.
could see that.
There we go. Okay, that's all the questions I got. I think the answers were all yes to that. Other than Denholm definitely was still dead because he died like early in the film.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing that I know for sure.
Yeah, Matt's probably didn't survive, but we can't count him out, especially after he becomes a half Aurora, half human.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Just because your skull is totally exposed doesn't mean you're dead.
I mean, I think we all know that's true. Yeah. All right. Well, anyways, I just want to get those questions out there because I feel like they left it on a cliffhanger. I wanted to make sure we all established exactly what was going to happen after we went to black on this one.
All right.
Alrighty.
All rights reserved if they're already not working on the second movie, right?
The Chamber 2
Yeah.
Zombie Apocalypse.
Mechamots.
Mechamots. But spelled M-O-T-T-S.
Oh.
Like the
Get that,
applesauce.
yeah, get that sponsorship in.
Yeah. Not a sponsor. Sorry. Yet.
Yet.
Yeah, yet.
All right.
right.
Should we get into some ratings on this?
Sure. I don't mind going first on this one.
All right. You do you, man.
Had a banging score. I like the music.
Yeah?
It was like bumping. I was like, okay, good. Polished look to it.
It did look good.
A little ridiculous. Exactly how many times they had to kind of have bad shit and like crazy twists and turns happen. Maybe you didn't need like the 5 millionth time people were just like screaming at each other.
But did you?
Good call. Yeah, maybe you did.
Hmm.
But also it was not entertaining and I didn't want to watch it. So I don't want to be too hard on it because I do think it had some good aspects to it. I don't think the acting was very good. I think some of it was okay, but otherwise not very good. But I'm probably going to go a little higher than you guys. I'm going to end up at a 4.5.
Oh, my word.
4, maybe 4. And I'm going to go 4. That was my original one. 4.
4?
A 4.
Okay.
Yeah. Just because I do think there's things there. Like I think the music is good.
Yeah.
I do. And I think
Brom's just grunt.
I mean, that's maybe about it, but no. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a thing that existed and had music in it that I liked.
All right.
Yeah.
Brom, do you?
I went over. You know what?
Sure.
You know what? Wait, it's 3.5. It's 3.5.
It's 3.5.
It's 3.5. Yeah.
It's falling rapidly.
yeah. We might even go lower, but I think it's 3.5. I'm gonna go. I think
Your
that's
score's going to be
That's where
trapped
you're
on the
at?
bottom of the seabed here in a little bit.
I'm just thinking like I'm talking about things like Dark Descent and Steel Sharks. Those are 3.5 films for me. I gave those 3.5.
And you're putting this at the same?
Yeah, because again, I think those were films that are bad, actively like not good films that were very entertaining and brought themselves up from that one up to a 3.5. This one is a film that brought itself down to a 3.5.
I understand.
No, you don't. Anyways, I'll leave it there. I'm sure you guys will go lower. I'm always above everyone else. I'm a little more forgiving than everyone else. I'm an easy grader. What can I say?
Sure, I'll jump in here. Can I cut in?
You can get in. Can this guy cut in?
Yes.
All right.
You can cut in.
I'm going to cut in. I'll agree with Jamie in the sense that I think there's obviously merits to the movie, and for me, it's just the idea of the movie itself. I think that there is a good version of a movie about being trapped on a little mini sub at the bottom of the sea. Like a movie like Phone Booth or whatever it was with Colin Farrell. I think there's opportunity for a movie where you're just kind of in that one set for the whole movie.
Yeah, or like Submersion starring James McAvoy and
completely
right?
different. Not what I'm talking about at all, Jamie.
Oh, because she was stuck on the ocean floor in a submersible at one point.
No, I'm saying like the whole movie. I mean, this is like the whole movie is almost. There's like that one scene kind of in the beginning, and then the one scene kind of at the end where she's swimming away. But one scene at the beginning, where they're kind of setting up to get on it. But for the most part, the whole movie kind of takes place in this little chamber.
So kind of like Buried with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. Yes. I think, and that's a good movie, and I thought Phone Booth was a decent movie as well, and I thought that there was room for this to be a good movie as well. I think it's out there. I think a script that's good is out there for this, because obviously, I mean, we like Subs and the tension and everything, and being trapped down there. I think that we could have felt a little more claustrophobic and everything. It just wasn't very well acted, and I was annoyed with the characters. I didn't like the characters. I don't know if that's just sort of true to form that they should be, kind of going insane and doing all this, but they just came across really annoying, and it was just getting really frustrating. Everyone sort of dialing it to 11 constantly throughout the movie, and just wasn't there. So there's a good movie out there. This wasn't it. I'm going to give it a 3.
Oh, you actually went higher than I thought.
Okay,
Okay.
A 3. All right.
Kyle, what about you?
All right. So we've talked a lot. I mean, you guys covered some good stuff. I do think that, yes, it did look good. Like it's
well polished. I think it is.
Yeah.
It's one of these companies, and it was made for under $1 million. I don't know if you can do that.
Really?
Yeah. So, I mean,
that's pretty impressive.
It's a kind of content creation. Things like when with Netflix being out there, like this is clearly something you could see them being like, hey, Netflix, you want this? And it happens a lot with reality TV where they'll make an entire season of a show, or maybe even multiple seasons of a show, without actually technically having a buyer. It'll just be a company that makes shows, and then they'll shop it around to all these shows and be like, do you want it? And it'll end up going on to who knows, Nat Geo or Discovery or so these different show different channels. But the company itself is kind of creating these different things. This clearly seems like a movie that was made by one of these companies. And then shopped around, and they ended up on Tubi TV. So it tells you a little bit about like
media, super giant.
Yeah, so Netflix looked at it and was like, "Pass."
Right. Yeah, we don't want this. So, Brom, you also mentioned the acting. The acting was what really got me. It was not good.
I was surprised because, as I said, Matt, the guy who played Matt Matz, is like a well-regarded actor.
And he was not shining.
And then
in this movie.
Denholm, who I actually thought he was the best actor in the movie. Yeah, he has a lot of credits. Like he's in a lot of stuff.
Well, that would make more sense. Yeah. But when we're in a trapped scenario, you're down there with.
You gotta say it right though.
Oh, when you're in a trapped scenario, you have very few actors and actresses involved in the movie. You have to be able to identify with every single one of them.
Yeah, no.
Or like have
all
just
assholes.
anybody.
Other than Denholm was not an asshole, but the rest of them were kind of assholes.
And they killed him off.
Yeah.
And so, everybody was just, you didn't like him. I had nothing invested in it.
Although Denholm...
The kiss was so forced.
That was so bad.
So awkward.
I hate that kind of shit. I don't know why they do this in movies where like, I remember I read this book, and it's like a well-regarded book where like a woman goes into the jungle to find like the husband of another woman, and finds him having been captured by like a tribe in the Amazon.
Yeah.
He's been gone. He's been trapped by this tribe, rescues. And then at the end of the book, she just has sex with this guy, even though it's like the husband of her friend. And then afterwards they were just like, it was just like an intense bunch of emotions. And I was like, what? First of all, he smells terrible because he was trapped by an Amazon tribe for months. And
you're saying they don't bathe, Jamie?
I'm saying he didn't bathe specifically.
Oh, he didn't. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And I don't know. It's not realistic that people are just like boning all day when they just like their emotions get up and they're just like, I got to fuck.
Yeah, dude.
Now.
I'm in a life or death situation, but I would really like to get my rocks off real quick.
They call it fight or flight, not fight or flight or fuck. That's a good phrase. Actually, I just coined it, so all rights reserved.
Fight or flight or fuck.
Yeah. People are just boning in like a war zone. It's like weird. Okay, well,
we know what their response is.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was just so boring too. It was so predictable. I wish
It is, yeah, it's very predictable. Yeah.
like I wish what they were doing was cooler.
Well, it was weird too because like
wasn't.
in Morning Departure, I was like, I wonder if they're going to survive this. And I was like, as it kept on going, I was like, oh man, they're not going to survive this, are they? And then with this one, almost immediately, I was like, they're all dying.
Oh yeah, for
Like,
sure.
they're all dead. I mean, this is like the entire point of
It
this
was just
movie is
like,
going to
yeah.
be them dying.
It was just that type of movie.
But yeah, they were all kind of assholes. That was actually, I think, one of the problems with Parks and Red in particular is they were too similar. They were too much of that yelly kind of asshole type.
Right. You can only take so much of that in a movie.
No, yeah, it didn't make sense. Whatever.
So, but like Brom said, I think there is a good storyline there, but this is not it. This gets a 2.
I almost want to make mine a 3.
No, dude, you already said it.
I'm set at the 3.5, aren't I? Because I like Steel Sharks and Dark Descent better.
Yeah, I know, right?
Damn
So I had
it.
to look at my score for Dark
God
Descent.
Damn it!
I was like,
the only thing
I'd watch that anytime over this.
My justification for 3.5, a lot of submarine action.
There was a lot of sub action.
There's a lot
which
of
is pretty
submarine,
good.
and they really went through like the intricacies of trying to rescue themselves. He like explained a lot.
Because once they were in it, they were in it. We didn't go anywhere else other than in that sub.
Yeah,
There
that would cost too much.
There was one shot where it showed the exterior when it was exploding, detonating that UAV. But that was it.
So it is interesting in that regard. You know what? 8.5.
All right, you ready for some trivia?
I'm ready. You ready, Brom?
Yes.
All right. So, score was written and recorded by James Dean Bradfield of Manic Street Preachers. Everyone know that famous band?
Who doesn't?
Yes.
Right. The score
They
was the
sang
last thing
War
to be
Pigs, right?
Oh, yeah, that is them, isn't it?
War Pigs. Yeah, sure. The score was the last thing to be recorded at Faster Studios in Cardiff, Wales. This is where this was filmed, in Wales.
And is that the only trivia that was on IMDb? Because that's all I saw.
I believe it was the only thing. Okay, so then I read an interview with Ben Parker. So he said, the drone's inclusion. Okay, so a drone that crashed into the ocean was where the kernel of the story came from. I'd always been fascinated, or rather terrified, by drones. The disconnect of using unmanned aircraft for attacks is something that scares me, and The Chamber was really about all my darkest fears rolled into one. So I wanted the plot to revolve around the discovery of one of these drones.
Okay.
All right. As part of his research, Parker visited a NATO rescue submarine at Fort William in Scotland and was struck by the ordinary cameras on the exterior. They were there for durability, not beautiful camera footage. So when it came to shooting the exterior viewpoints, I thought, why not use the same thing they do on the real sub? He also said his grandfather piloted submarines and used to tell him stories. So that is something he always wanted to have part of his film.
Oh, well, getting to tie it in some,
Yeah.
heritage. That's nice.
The film was shot in 23 days. So pretty short.
Took that long, huh?
That's a pretty short film.
No, I know.
In a warehouse in Wales for under $1 million.
That is impressive that this was less than $1 million.
Yeah, so and I think another thing they were saying, I mean, the only time they had to do something kind of outside of it was the ship in the beginning, and then at the end when she's in the open water, which is off the coast of England. They shot that. Okay. So, this is not the first film with the name The Chamber. As we mentioned, there was a 1996 adaptation of a John Grisham novel named The Chamber, which we also happened to watch for badmovietwins.com.
Is that badmovietwins.com?
That is badmovietwins.com.
Great.
And I will say also one of the worst adaptations I've ever watched. Like the book isn't even that good of a book, but the changes they made for the movie are horrendous. Like really just awful and like upsetting and offensive. I'm not even saying like offensive like it offended me. Like it's actually offensive.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like they make it where it's a whole thing of like in the book, it's about a guy, it's about a racist on death row. He's headed for the gas chamber, right?
Okay.
And his estranged grandson, who has become a lawyer, decides to represent him in his final appeal. In the book, this involves him not really loving or learning to like love his grandfather or anything like that because he's a terrible racist.
Yeah.
But instead kind of just being like, this is my duty to my family, and then being like upset when his grandfather is ultimately executed. The changes they made for the movie was that it turned out he wasn't a racist after all, that it was all like he was like defending someone and got mixed up by mistake with the Ku Klux Klan. And like,
how do you get mixed up?
Like nothing makes any sense. And it was just like, this change offends me. I can't believe they did this. They actually made it so that like he was not only being defended, but actually innocent of all of what he was accused of. It didn't make any sense what they were trying to do.
So John Grisham wanted for his
it was
book,
crazy.
huh?
It's a horrible adaptation. So anyways, which actors from this previous film would have been good for this film? So what about Chris O'Donnell?
Well, he's obviously our pilot.
Robin from Batman and Robin.
That's him?
Yeah, Chris O'Donnell.
Oh.
He was at he was at our fair in little Sydney.
What was he doing there?
I don't know. I think he's got relatives in the area.
Yeah, he's also.
He wasn't like doing a show or anything.
No,
I don't know.
Strolling through.
What would you see him do?
Yeah, him and there's a couple of things. Him and Drew Barrymore had Mad Love. I don't know if you saw that film.
I did not.
He was McVet from Grey's Anatomy. He's in NCIS Los Angeles, which has a submarine episode. I think a 2-parter that we'll end up watching.
Okay.
So you'll know him intimately, and I mean intimately.
Oh. All right. Yeah, I agree with Brom. Pilot.
He makes sense as a pilot. What about Gene Hackman?
All right.
I want to say captain of
the
Yeah, I want to say captain of the ship, but then we have to make him the main character of the film. So I guess it's him like battling the North Koreans when they board the ship. It's like almost like what's that one called with Tom Hanks?
Oh, Captain Phillips?
Yeah, it's like a Captain Phillips scenario.
Captain Phillips. Gene Hackman battling North Koreans?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'd watch that.
Yeah, I would 100% watch that. If he came out of retirement to make that film, I'm watching it. So, what about Bo Jackson? He was in the movie. He was a jail guard in the chamber.
Really?
Yeah. He was legit. I'm not even making that up. Bo Jackson was in this.
Bo Jackson.
He would be Parks.
I mean, he's Parks, right? Yeah. I feel like he's got that physical prowess.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he would destroy that. He'd rip it apart. Right?
Yeah.
He's Bo Jackson. He's like the greatest athlete the world has ever produced. I think. I mean, I can't say for certain.
Sure.
He's pretty damn good. He'd take a baseball bat out and he'd punch a hole in the sub.
For sure.
And then they'd all die.
And then they'd be like, oh, you can't free float up. And he'd be like, watch me. And then he'd do it and they'd be like, whoa, oh, shit. Bo Jackson.
It's badass.
Yeah.
One of his like 4 photos on IMDb is from the chamber.
Yep. What about Ed Harris?
Oh.
Yeah. So he actually played a submarine captain in the chamber, the 1996 The Chamber.
Really?
Yep. He was in it, but unfortunately, they ended up realizing there wasn't a submarine in the film, and so he cut it for time.
Oh, shoot.
Yep. It was kind of extra part of the movie.
Well, if you didn't have Bo Jackson as Parks, I'd put Ed Harris as Parks. But ultimately, he would win, and he would survive.
Yeah, he can't be Denholm because that nut or the bolt would just bounce off his abs.
Yeah.
Duh.
Can you imagine Ed Harris just floating around the chamber for a while and then just waking up after he's already been killed?
He can't be Parks either because he wouldn't have been able to be physically overpowered.
It's true.
I feel like he's red.
Oh, he would have to be red.
I think so.
Or if he was Mott's and when that
the hatch
opened up, boom, just bounces right off his head. It's like, oh.
Actually helps him. It clears his head.
What the hell was that? Yeah.
Like, oh, thank God.
My sinuses were so blocked.
Yeah. I'm good now. All right. So, Phantom Zone.
Engage the Phantom.
Phantom's engaged, sir.
You guys are going to be shocked. Shocked!
Come on, dude. You've been able to do it for everyone.
Unsurprisingly, cast consists of 5 people. Turns out to be just the second film ever that I had to jump outside of the main cast acting.
For this one?
Yeah. This and Stinger. So,
Stinger's more believable.
So, there were a bunch of options after. The Foley artist had done some Foley work on some submarine films, but I used a production designer, Byron Broadbent, who also got an art department credit on the James Bond film The World Is Not Enough earlier in his career.
And then he's doing stuff like this.
Yeah. And so, this was technically a promotion because that was an art department, but this is a production designer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, that's pretty easy from there because Desmond Llewellyn played Q in a large number of James Bond films, and I've used a whole bunch of the ones, including The Spy Who Loved Me.
No
He's,
way.
he's in that one. So
Yeah.
I was able to do that. And since we did that for Submersion, we know we can go from Phantom. So we may even go through Terra Shimada for all I know. Terra Shimada's in a James Bond film.
Yes.
So I think we can make it probably over to him.
Ooh, a little Terra Shimada action.
Yeah, I threw that in there because I knew you'd be like disappointed that I didn't keep on going, and I was like, but, I'll feed you a little Terra Shimada.
Dangle Terra Shimada in front of me. Yeah, I'll be fine.
Yeah, so there we go.
All right. Yeah, I was gonna say these actors have not been in a whole heck of a lot.
No, I think if I really, really searched hard, I think I could have maybe found something with the captain of the ship because he's got a lot of credits. My guess is that he's on some television show with a submarine in it, but I wasn't gonna watch each of them to find out, which is what I'd have to do.
Yeah, I watched 200 television
and
shows.
I found it. There's a submarine right here, and you'd be like, "There's not a submarine in that scene at all." I'm like, "What?
You've lost your mind." Okay, it's time for Subs Worldwide. It's Subs Worldwide. So this week we had a little mini sub going on down, doing some stuff.
Right.
I thought, well, let me find some kind of mini sub. This was an old one. I wanted to find a new one. So I went with an autonomous underwater vehicle, an AUV.
Oh.
Sentry. So this is actually...
One sec. What is it called when you can rearrange the letters and create a new word?
Anagram?
Anagram. AUV is an anagram of UAV, which was what we were looking for at the bottom of the ocean there.
Exactly, man.
It's also an anagram for UVA.
UVA. Like Uva Thurman.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Uma's lesser known sister. All right.
Lesser known to you.
Yes. So it's operated by Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution.
Love it. Just across the ocean from where I grew up.
And it is part of the NDSF, or National Deep Submergence Facility. So, how deep do you think this thing can dive?
When was this made? Does it have any time when it was created?
I do not have that information.
Because there's a chance that I know people who worked on this ship.
Oh, really?
Because I went to school with someone who worked on autonomous underwater vehicles at Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute.
You might, they might have worked on this.
Yeah, maybe.
How deep do you think it can dive?
Oh, probably to the center of the Earth. So
3.7 miles. Without direct human control or connection to a ship, and can remain submerged for 40 hours. That's pretty darn deep.
That's pretty deep. How many people can fit into it?
No one.
What?
Exactly.
So if it came down to rescue me, what am I doing?
It would it would map your location.
I'd hop on top of it and ride it to the surface.
Yeah, and work on crushing you. Yeah. It has missions that it carries out, which include surveying the seafloor while mapping out features like hydrothermal vents, deep sea coral reefs, shipwrecks, and oil wells. It has a built-in sonar mapping system that can render 3D models of the seafloor, so that's kind of slick. It has a high-res digital camera for snapping some photos, and it can also use specialized instruments to collect samples.
How many torpedoes tubes does it have?
10,000.
Whoa!
Yes.
Wow.
The world's population of torpedoes live inside the Sentry.
Wow. That's really cool.
It's amazing.
Which is also impressive
it's
because...
like a Gatling gun of torpedoes.
Yes. It is actually, which is even more impressive, it's 6 foot high, 7.2 foot wide, and 9.5 feet long.
That's actually pretty big.
It's a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Definitely a lot bigger.
I thought it was going to be like you could sit on this table in front of us.
Or something. Yeah, like a Roomba.
Yeah. But no, it's pretty big.
Not a sponsor.
No. It is powered. How many batteries do you think this thing uses?
You talking about AAAs or what?
Potentially.
I'd say 3,000 AAA batteries.
Brom, how about you?
Put me down for 69 AA batteries.
Nice. AA. He's going AA, so.
This is powered by not either, it didn't list double or AAA, obviously. But 1,000 lithium ion batteries that are specifically designed to handle the intense pressure.
Probably how many was it? 1,000 you said?
1,000.
Probably like 1,000 car batteries, right? Is that what they're saying?
I would think so. What, they're lithium ion?
So they're like little watch batteries.
Exactly. 1,000 by 1,000. Can you imagine having to change that out? Oh my God. So for the range, it can go 100 kilometers at 2.5 knots or 150 kilometers at 1.5 knots.
You need to get that zoom in.
Yeah, you need to like bump that up.
Yeah.
300 knots.
Doesn't have to be quiet or anything.
No. Who's going to attack it?
Yeah.
Like, what is that?
Yeah.
So this was actually used in a fairly well-known incident. This was sent to take mass spectrometer readings during or after the Deepwater Horizon disaster.
Makes sense, yeah.
So it was actually sent down into the underwater oil plume 19 times to determine the chemical makeup and the direction of the plume. It's a Sentry.
Wow.
Keeping us safe with all those torpedoes.
That's true.
Yes, it is.
It's only the truth. All right.
All right, Brom.
Tube 3 ready to fire, sir.
Commence the countdown.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Give it to me.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
So you guys already got a hint of what I'm doing this week, but I gotta say I had quite a bit of fun compiling this. So we were trapped on the bottom of the seabed watching The Chamber, and some of us were trapped watching the terrible movie in our bedrooms. If you were to be trapped on the bottom of the sea, though, if you could only have one movie, what movie would that be? And that is what I asked our fellow hosts, and I asked some other of the major players in the submarine world. So this is the list, basically desert island discs, but for the bottom of the sea. This is our top 9 list of movies that you would want to bring along with you if you're going to be trapped down there for any length of time.
Oh, man. All right.
That VHS
now, you
tape
should specify
yeah.
these do not have to be submarine films, correct?
These do not have to be submarine films. And there's 9 of them. It's not really counting down. I'm just going to, it's in not any particular order, really. Just these are the 9 movies. If you invited us along for your excursion to the bottom of the sea, these are the movies we'd be bringing along with us.
These are the VHS tapes that are being worn out.
That is correct.
Do we have Lord of the Rings 1, 2, and 3 on there?
Unfortunately, we do not. I thought about it. I thought about it for mine, but decided to go a little lighthearted. I'm thinking if we're going to be on the bottom of the sea, we're going to be pretty blue down in the dumps, and we need something to pick us up. So that's kind of where I went with mine. But here we go.
All right.
Here we go. Zach the Backbone is contributing Dumb and Dumber.
Ah, it's very good.
Oh, that is a good one.
Kyle El Capitan bringing Django Unchained.
Wow, interesting choice. Why necessarily Django Unchained?
I just love that movie. It's got everything.
It is funny. It's got fun.
It's got funny
It's
stuff.
funny stuff. It's
good
got some
action.
Yeah,
Storyline's amazing.
looks good.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised because it's not my favorite of the Tarantinos.
Yeah.
Like I think if I had to bring one that I would like watch a whole bunch, maybe Inglourious Bastards would be my guy.
Well, that's a really good one too. I also love the Western aspect.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
There's something about them.
Yep,
Jamie Foxx and Christoph Waltz and that.
That's my favorite
Maybe,
Tarantino movie.
That's your favorite one?
Yeah.
See, I don't know. I feel like at the same time when I was seeing that, I saw Inglourious Bastards not too long before that. I think that was the previous year or 2 years before that or something like that.
I didn't remember that was a Tarantino movie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I
like
came out of that one
too.
as being
I like Django better though.
My mind.
Arrivederci.
Yeah.
The next one will be coming from someone that listeners of the Down Periscope episode might remember. Keenan, the brother of Kyle El Capitan.
Oh, wow.
Oh, here we go.
See, that's a deep dive.
Kyle, do you want to take a guess at what Keenan might have brought along?
Oh, man. Is it Space Jam?
It is not Space Jam. It is Gladiator.
Oh, that's a good one, too.
That is a really good movie.
I feel like visually, it is a very visually interesting film. So you get a lot out of it. You can kind of like feast your eyes every once in a while on some Gladiator.
Oh, yeah.
We got.
I love that movie. That's one of my favorites.
That's a good one. Yeah.
It's funny. We're giving like a bunch of commentary. Zach's came up and was like Dumb and Dumber, and we're like, oh, okay, cool. It's a good movie. Good movie. Cool.
We'll mention Dumb and Dumber again. But the next one is going to come from the Podcast Fanatic blog.
Oh.
Guy who gave us a glowing review, and we've mentioned him a couple times now. He contributed the same movie that I wanted to contribute. I actually ended up having to change mine.
Oh, wow.
He picked V for Vendetta.
Oh, interesting. I've only seen that one time. Well, all these other films,
great movie.
All these other films that are being mentioned, I've seen a whole bunch of times.
Yeah, V for Vendetta. I love it. I think it's going to age well too. I think it's going to be just one of those really popular movies and really always have a cult following. But love it.
It is a great film.
But I had to switch mine up a little bit, and again, I went a little lighthearted. The artist formerly known as Brom is bringing along Billy Madison.
Yeah, there you go.
I think that's the correct choice as far as Adam Sandler.
Me and fellow co-hosts watched it at our Bowling Green homecoming, and we're dying laughing and quoted it all weekend, and we still just quote it all the time. It's just a good one. Yeah.
I just recently watched Happy Gilmore, and
another very good one.
Recently watched that one, and I think I like Happy Gilmore more. I like that one a lot more, but they're both good.
Our English correspondent in the field, Patrick.
Oh, yes?
He's bringing along Here on Earth.
By Ludacris Klein? Okay, I need to explain this a little bit.
Starring Chris Klein and Lily Sobieski.
So, Here on Earth is one of...
By the way, Jamie is just like smiling ear to ear. While
so Here on Earth... Okay.
Stupid movie.
We just inducted Here on Earth into the Hall of Fame on badmovietwins.com.
Yeah.
That's badmovietwins.com. And we literally, like, in the induction speech, we were just like, it's got everything we want. Like, it's the perfect movie of being like, we would be like, you got to watch this terrible movie. It's so hilarious. And we watch it and we'd be just rolling on the floor laughing while everyone else would just be like, are they okay? Like, this movie is not interesting and not very funny or weird. What's going on? But like, it's got everything we want out of it. Like, it's got like the acting is crazy. It's got like multiple monologues throughout that you can just kind of like latch onto and be like, what is happening? And then like a crazy dance two crazy dance sequences. Chris Klein is like a maniac. It's just everything about it is great. I just watched it like a week ago.
How many times have you seen that movie?
Oh, I don't know. 10 times?
Wow.
Something like that. I watch it like every year. It's like Christmas.
Oh my gosh.
Speaking of Jamie the Ointment, he is bringing along Wet Hot American Summer.
Yeah, so that's another one that I can watch over and over and over again. I debated between that and Anchorman. Anchorman's another one that I watched almost every day in the summer to the point where I could quote almost the entire movie through, like just like from start to end. And Wet Hot American Summer was another one where like I'd watch it and like it'd be like the 80th time I watched it and it would be like, holy shit, I never noticed that. There's like a million jokes in it that you can just keep on like digging out.
It's a good movie.
It's really good.
Alex the Mustard Man is contributing Rat Race.
Oh, man. I just watched that with my wife not too long ago because we hadn't seen it in such a long time. And that movie, it's ridiculous.
I need to watch it again. I was a kid. I think I watched it at the drive-in. We had a drive-in movie theater, you know. The
Goody ends up having to take that whole bus of Lucy's out.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And when like they end up flipping the bus or something, and we're like, "Wah!" He's just losing his shit. So great. And Smash Mouth at the end. Oh.
Smash Mouth.
And lastly,
a lot of movies.
Lastly, here we got Eric Moreno. Friend of the show and featured guest many a times, a veteran submariner. He is bringing along Down Periscope.
Makes sense.
Oh yeah, you'd have to, man.
You'd have to bring something, and I feel like that's a fun submarine film to bring along. Although I could also have seen someone say Crimson Tide.
Yeah, but then it might instill the little bug in your head about Mutiny.
Oh, sure. Yeah, you don't want to let people know what's up.
Got a little story about this. I got this via Twitter from Eric, and he gave me a little rationale saying that Harlan Williams and Toby Huss was making him cry laughing still to this day. And he rated Lauren Holly a 10 out of 10 and said, #submarines, all I need from a movie. Lauren Holly ended up liking the tweet.
Wow.
Really?
So I responded and said, what about you, Lauren Holly? If you were trapped on the ocean floor in a mini sub, what's the one movie you'd like to be stuck with? I said, we've got one.
She said anything yet?
I said, we've got one vote for Don Periscope and one vote for Dumb and Dumber already. You are well represented. She liked it. She didn't respond. She didn't respond. She could have been number one on our list here.
Should I say it?
Lauren Holly, go for it.
Come on the podcast.
Yes.
Come on the podcast.
Please do. Don't just like this episode. Come on the next one.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. Yeah, well, maybe not. Maybe we'll have to pick and choose a good one.
We'll get you on a good one.
Yeah, the next couple aren't the best representatives.
Films we're ever going to see.
No.
But, whatever.
Do you like Steven Seagal? What are you thinking?
Duh, who doesn't? Wow, that's a great countdown, Brom.
Well, thank you. And I had a lot of fun doing it. I like that
Patrick's, because full disclosure, Patrick did not actually respond when I asked him about this, and so I threw in Here on Earth for him, but I think he'd be happy with it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Very good.
Here on Earth is
I mean, you guys are twins. I think you can speak for them.
That's
we were just talking about how it's like the best. Is that badmovietwins.com?
That is badmovietwins.com.
I think we've said this like 8 times this episode.
Yeah. If you don't have like 2 extra clicks this week.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, you're talking about doubling our click.
Yeah.
It's tough. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
You guys ready for some Russian YouTube? Thanks for listening to Submersion. Find us on SoundCloud and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Can't get enough of us? Don't forget to subscribe for new episodes every Thursday. And if you like what you heard, please go ahead and give us a rating.